Hey everybody, welcome to a quick lesson on lenses. So right now what you're looking at is a zoom on the left and a dolly on the right. Pay close attention to the dolly on the right and look how the background changes and how the zoom on the left, the background stays flat pretty much. That's the difference between a dolly and a zoom. Here's a real world example. I slowed down the video to see if I could show you the difference a little better. On the right, the focus is locked, meaning that I didn't pull focus, so I didn't focus on any object. I just left the focus as is, as I dollied in. So notice how the background changes on the right, but on the left, the whole frame kind of stays flat. If you're doing like a 2.5D parallax background move, the background should change. Now this is just examples of different size lenses. Notice the focus and the distance between the foreground and the background elements and how they change. Notice how soft the background is at a 555mm. As we start pulling out, getting to a lower millimeter, things start to get more in focus. Now the 18mm that I have, I couldn't use a macro focus. This is the closest I could get to her face and keep it in the same frame as the other lenses. So light, your IOS, your white balance, the size of your aperture on the camera, and the lens all determines how much focus you have in each frame and what's in focus depending on where your focal length is at. Notice how close the character in the back looks compared to the character in the front, in the foreground. When you have a larger millimeter lens, it flattens everything out. Example of a pan down. Example of a tilt up. Example of a Swiss tilt. Pay attention to the perspective of how the character changes as it passes underneath the camera. You go from seeing her face to seeing the top of her head. Same thing with here. And notice the bottom of her chin. How you don't see it, and then as it just passes, you can see more of her chin. Same thing with this shot. First you see her front, and then as she gets closer, you see under her chin. Bird's eye view. Worm's eye view. Dutch tilt. That's it. Join me for more lessons.